Moving on, glue and nail the legs into L shapes and let them dry. Then glue and nail the 8-inch 2x2s flush to the bottom of each plywood L. Be careful to attach these pieces so that you end up with 2 sets of legs that have the 2x2s on the inside of the L shape, like these. It is helpful to lay out the legs and mark the correct ends before attaching the 2x2s. Now let's drill 1/4 inch holes in the bottom of each 2x2. Tap in your T-nuts and screw in the threaded feet. Once your tabletop is up and running, you'll be glad you installed these nifty little levelers to even out an uncertain rec room floor. To create the finished H-leg assemblies, cut 2 35-inch strips of plywood. These will serve as cross pieces for both sets of legs. Take 2 L-shaped legs, align them, and make a mark 18 inches from the bottom of the legs. This will be the height of the bottom edge of the crosspiece. Square up the crosspiece and mark both the top and bottom edges on the legs. With the crosspiece in place, drill the first 1/4 inch bolt hole through both the crosspiece and the leg. Holding the head of the carriage bolt in a vice grip, glue and bolt the pieces together using a washer and lock nut. As you tighten the nut, the carriage bolt will countersink nicely into the leg and release from the vice grip. Making sure the assembly is square, drill the second bolt hole and install the bolt just like the first one. Repeat these steps on the other leg to finish off the first H-leg assembly. After you've completed the second assembly, clamp the 2 back to back. Mark each leg 1 1/4 inches from the top and 1 1/4 inches from the side. Now drill a 1/4 inch bolt hole through both sets of legs. Drilling the holes through both sets at the same time allows you to use the legs interchangeably on either end of your table. Now we'll return to our tabletop. Turn it upside down so we can attach our leg assemblies. We'll need 4 1/4 by 2 inch carriage bolts with matching wing nuts. Place the H-leg assembly all the way to one side of the frame. Measure the distance from the side of the frame to the leg and slide the assembly back half the distance measured. This will center the leg assembly on the frame. Clamp the assembly and drill a 1/4 inch bolt hole in each leg. Then lock your carriage bolts securely in place with washers and wing nuts. Those legs aren't going anywhere. Before finishing up construction of the benchwork, you'll need 4 48-inch lengths of 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch wood molding, along with 4 1/4 by 2 inch carriage bolts, matching flat washers, lock washers, and wing nuts. These will serve as angle braces on both sides of the table. First, clamp the 4 pieces of 48-inch molding together. Make a mark centered 1 inch from each end and drill your 1/4 inch holes. The next step is to measure 30 inches from the bottom of the legs for placement of the upper end of the braces. Remember, the table is upside down, so measure from the feet toward the tabletop. Drill the hole and loosely bolt the top end of the brace to the leg. Be sure to square the table legs before determining where the lower end of your angle brace will be positioned. Position and mark the lower end of the brace. We'll drill right through the brace on the legs. That way the angle braces will be interchangeable, just like our H-leg assemblies. Now all that's left is to bolt the braces in place using our carriage bolts, flat washers, lock washers, and wing nuts. Re-bolt the angle braces on the inside of the leg assembly so we have a nice finished look to our table. And that's just about it. Now you can turn your bench work over and stand it on its new legs. Admire your handiwork, but not for long. We're going to see the Madison Central start to take shape in the next section.